Welcome to Whiteboard Talk. Appreciate you all getting on tonight and checking it out and taking the information in. What we're going to talk about today in your business is expenses. Now, the thing that we're going to hit on is the biggest expense that so as a small business owner, when you look at the average income in America, whatever it is, 60, 70, 80, I don't know, whatever it is, and then you take the small business owner and they pay themselves more than the average income. And a lot of them came from an average income and then decided to run a business and then pay themselves more, right? Because that's how they're going to get rich, which is exactly how you don't get rich, because if you start with a business, you can't make any money. So when I started every business I've ever ran, when I started it, the last thing I thought about was my salary. It's a business. I don't build something to try to get rich overnight and starve it. That doesn't make any kind of sense. So when I started buying all my real estate, I wasn't trying to cash flow and make 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month, I was putting all my money back into infrastructure, into legal expenses, into accounting fees, into marketing, into lead gen. I was doing all that. But if you look at what I always sit with small business owners or self-employed people, a lot of them are self-employed. You get back to that cash flow quadrant, like you a business owner, you're self-employed. You know, does it run without you being there? Does it make passive income? And a lot of times it doesn't. I mean, you're self-employed, you're not a business owner. But a lot of times you look at your expenses, the number one expense that I find is what people are paying themselves. And a lot of times they don't necessarily pay themselves, they just take the money out of the account. So I'm like, well, what's your salary? I don't really have one. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't really have one? Okay, well, how much of this business's revenue are you using to do things personally? Pay your mortgage, pay your taxes. Like what are you doing? You know, make your car payment, take care of your kids. I get it's life. And this is what I want to talk about tonight. When you decide to be a small business owner, to be an entrepreneur, to be self-employed, you need to make sure that you have some money. I'm blown away when people are like, well, I'm just going to. Now, if you go, I don't have any money and the only opportunity I have is to go find a sales position where I'm independent. Cool, have at it. But that's a job. Work it like a job, right? Like understanding if you're trying it, that's not better than business. But a lot of folks have this idea, they have a month of their bills saved up and they open up whatever. You know, I mean everything. I was talking to a guy the other day and it's this pet grooming business. Well, congratulations. And actually he's got some clients and actually he actually has a business that eventually will probably scale. He doesn't do any marketing, it's mouth to mouth. I mean, the word of mouth, he can totally do all that, right? But at the end of the day, he's paying himself 2 times he was paying himself in his old job because he's now self-employed and he's now a business owner. And he ain't a business owner because he's the only one doing the whole thing. So without him, it's just self-employed. But start looking at what you're taking from your business. Every single expense, everything. Now, you're not going to be big enough when you start to go hire a CFO. Number one, they don't work for 20, 30, 40 grand a year, and you're not going to have the money. What do you do when you don't? You find a great accounting firm that you can afford that becomes like a de facto CFO. And what they do with you is you go, hey, listen, I opened my waste management company. I let somebody else run it. And after like 6 months, I'm like, dude, do you even really know like what we're spending to pick up the dumpsters, gas, maintenance, insurance? What is our actual cost of acquisition? Like what's it costing us to obtain a lead? We didn't know any of that. So I had my accountant. It wasn't making enough money to hire a CFO. It was a couple guys, 3 trucks, 100 dumpsters. But then I said, every month, once a month, you, the guy that ran it, need to sit down with them once a month, go over to P&L, and then I need to review it. And guess what happened? We started going, wait a minute, why are we spending this? Why are we spending this? I was taking 0 money out of the business. He had a legitimate salary. He worked there. But part of my deal was, dude, you want this astronomical salary, we have to grow profitability first. And you want to pay yourself more. You should. You want to go into business. You left your job making $89,000 a year and you want to make more money. Cool. The way to get there is to control the hell out of these early on because you're only going to have so much income. And then figure out what is it. Is it, you know, when I open a life insurance company, what do I need? Leads. Leads, 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 and leads. You're like, what about your tech? No, we did what we did. We dealt with what we had. We needed to go sell life insurance. We needed leads. Yes, we wanted to do some marketing outside of leads, but we needed leads to purchase to go sell life insurance clients. Yes, we wanted some recruiting leads, but we needed this first. So a good part of what we were spending came into here. Leads. What is the number one thing in your business that you need to invest in? And how much money do you have when you start it? When I mentor people, and I mentor people all different kinds of businesses, and sometimes I'm like, dude, the ship is sinking. It's going down with or without you. Like, you've been doing this for 5 years. I'm not mad at you. I had a guy the other day, super nice guy, but there's no out. You go, there's always an out. No, there's not. This thing's so far upside down, there's zero chance anybody that's of reasonable intelligence would ever put money into it. And there's no scalable business plan. Actually, the original business plan wasn't any good anyway. So it's actually, there was no market research done. The guy put himself in a really bad spot. But you have to start to understand that when you, one of your biggest expenses, what you're paying yourself, you weren't ready to launch. Now, I had multiple businesses. So I was doing real estate, and then I had waste management, and I was doing life insurance. I had some apparel company. I had a lead, I had all these other things here that were making me money. So when I launched a business, I didn't need to yank money out of it. But it's going to take you some time to get that big boy, big girl salary you want from your company. But if you jump from one to the other, if you've been living on $68,000 a year, live on $68,000 a year. If this can't pay you $68,000 a year, you should not have launched it. But what you could do, and I'll end with this, active. The answer always is find something and sell it. Active cash flow. Most of you have that opportunity in whatever business you're in. You can go make the sales. You can go get the clients. You can go do it. Had the waste management company not started making money, I could have been like, hey, y'all are fired. Hell, I'll get in the truck. I'll drive it. I'll pick up the numbers, which I wasn't going to do because I was too busy doing everything else. But I could have done that. But you can never be afraid to work. You need some money to start, and always be ready to work. So I say to people all the time I work with, dude, I can do this too. When I was building homes, I can do this. I can go ahead and clear the lot. I can stump the lot. Like I can do all those things, right? Like I can go ahead and find a buddy of mine and go like, let's rough plumb the house. I can find a licensed guy and I'll go, hey, I'll labor for you. What do I need to do? Let's roof it. Cool. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's sheetrock it. Cool. Let's go ahead and do that. Like if I have to go to work and find some dudes to help me, I can go ahead and do that. I promise you. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where you have to understand, be careful with overall expenses and what you're pulling out of this thing that's trying to live. You can't starve it. It's in infancy stages. The more you yank away, the more of the app that thing is to stumble, slow down, or just die out on you. So I hope this helped. You like this video, like, subscribe, share, send it to somebody else. And thanks for your support. Appreciate you.